All right, so I'm just going to do now converting numbers into polar form that are either purely real or purely imaginary. So 3 and -2 have a real part, don't have an imaginary part. 4i and -5i have an imaginary part, don't have a real part. So like 3, you could rewrite that as 3 plus 0i. -2, you could rewrite as -2 plus 0i. 4i, you could rewrite as 0 plus 4i. -5i, you could rewrite as 0 minus 5i. So just real, just imaginary. All right, I'll put the 4 of them on the same Argand diagram. So 3, go over here, -2, over here, 4i, up here, -5i, down here. Okay, we'll go into the modulus in a second. I'm just going to look at the angles for each first, the arguments for each. Okay, so remember, we measure these angles, these arguments from here, from this line. So for 3, you're not actually moving off that line, so the argument will be 0 degrees. Okay, so for a positive real number, your argument is just 0. For -2 over here, this one might be a little bit confusing at first. You're not sure whether to measure from here or here. We measure this one from here. It is positive 180 degrees. Okay, this is like the last positive one. Once you go below here, we're going to measure from this way, and it'll be a negative angle. So for a negative real number like -2, our argument is going to be 180 degrees. For 0 plus 4i, so the positive imaginary number, this one's straightforward enough, the argument would just be 90 degrees. And for the -5i, this is one where we definitely measure it going this way, and it's going to be negative, so that angle there would be -90 degrees. So there's our 4 angles, or our 4 arguments. Let's figure out the modulus for each of them. Okay, this is also going to be straightforward enough. So for 3, our modulus is just a squared, the square root of a squared plus b squared. So that is the square root of 3 squared plus 0 squared. That's the square root of 9 plus 0. So just 3. All right. For -2 then, again, modulus is root of a squared plus b squared. A will be -2 to be squared plus 0 squared. -2 squared is +4. So square root of 4 then is 2. All right. Here it will be the same. All right. Your modulus will just end up being 4. And similar enough here, -5 squared is +25. Square root of that is 5. So your modulus would end up being 5. All right. So just writing each one then in polar form, Z1 would be 3 cis 0. Z2 would be 2 cis 180. Z3 would be 4 cis 90. And then Z4 would be 5 cis -90.